Great. So as I mentioned, okay, so I'll be addressing questions about the assignments during our break. Sorry, not our break. During exercise. Let me just write this down because some people cannot hear me, so I'm gonna write this down as well. Okay, so just type the message that I will be addressing questions about the assignments, 3 or 4, during exercise time, which will come a bit later today. We still have to cover a few things about test driven. Okay, we're gonna restart by doing a quick Nearpods quiz. So let me go to, can you please open your pods and I will give you the code in a second. So go to your pods. Okay. Test driven development. Okay, so let's do our first quiz here. 4 questions, I think. And here is the code. Yeah. So here's the code. Give it a try. I'll give you a few minutes and then we will talk about it, okay? 4 questions. In case you missed the music, I think that we can carry on. There are plenty of answers already, just a few. So I'm going to open in a separate window here and we're gonna discuss that. Okay, so first one here from 4 questions. The testing framework available out of the box on Visual Studio is called? Can you give me some hints there in the chat? Who can give me the right answer there? Some answers, not necessarily the right one, but some answers there. Again, come on, give me some feedback there in the chat or on Padlet. I'm gonna try to keep Padlet open here as well. Okay, so I have that in Padlet. Someone gave me an answer there. Again, we have 18 people. How come? Come on, give me a few more options there. Maybe you can just say the letter there. C, MS Test. Yeah, that's the one. Okay, so MS Test is the one. Any unit exists. X unit does exist as well. My unit test does not exist, but the one that comes by default on Visual Studio is called MS Test. Okay. This one here. Okay, we have seen the 3 sections of test methods. What are they and what is the correct order of them? Okay. Let's have a look there. Anyone? First you do what? D. So first we arrange the variables. We arrange them, we organize them. Then we act, we call the methods. Then we assert, we test, we see if what we expected happened or not. Okay? So arrange, act, and assert. Letter D. Okay? Great. Fourth one here, third one. This is a tricky one. Tricky. When adding a new test project to a Visual Studio solution, select which one? Which option are we gonna select? Okay. So we have a few answers there. C, yep, that's the one. Very easy to get confused with letter A, okay? MS Test Projects. No, this is not the one that we use it, okay? We use the .NET Framework 1 Unit Test Projects, okay? Actually, I should make this a little bit harder. This is the only one that has .NET Framework. Okay. Here we have, what is an example of a valid test method declaration? Which one here? Which one in this case? Okay, we have an answer there. Let's run through them. So the first one, public void test withdraw amount and then a parameter. What is the problem with the first one? We have a parameter there. Again, test methods, we don't have parameters. B, public boolean test withdraw amount. Public boolean, we don't have a return type. Okay, so boolean should be void. We have void test withdraw amount. It cannot be private, it has to be public. And last one, we have public, we have void, and we don't have any parameters. So D here. Okay? Awesome. Okay, so let's carry on with a little bit more demonstration. Actually, yeah, so we have another demonstration that we want to provide here, that I want to provide. Someone, and I don't remember who suggested that, someone said, hey, Ederson, how about you divide by 0 and see what will happen? That's an interesting test. Okay, so division by 0 So if we have a look at our method here, let me ask you this. What is it that we expect to happen if the division is by 0? What do we expect? Can anyone tell me what is it that we are expecting to happen if we divide by 0? What is the expected outcome? Anyone in the chat or on Padlet? Deepika, error message. Okay. An exception. Okay, that's good. That's good too. So if we give in a 0 as the denominator, we are expecting an error to happen. Now, you may say, but Anderson, I mean, shouldn't we do something about that? Well, remember what I told you before when we were doing exception handling. Usually, who handles the exception is whoever is calling. Okay? So, we don't have necessarily to do anything here in our divide if the denominator is 0. Who should be putting that in a try-catch block is actually form 1. Form 1 should be the one here. Because if I run this application and if I say denominator 0, if I divide, look, we got a division by 0 exception. Okay? So, ideally, form 1 is the one that should handle that. However, from a testing standpoint, yes, probably we have to handle that. We have to test that exception. From a test standpoint, we are expecting that if we provide a denominator with 0, we expect an exception to happen. And I know it sounds strange that we should expect an exception, but yes, we expect that. We expect an exception. Okay? Now, for that, we're going to create a second test method. So for each test situation, you create a different test method. Okay? So you're going to create a new one. You're going to say test method. We're going to call it public void. Now, let's have a look at the name. What should be the first part of the name here? Can anyone give me the first part of the name in our second test? Correct? Probably divide. So divide. What about the second part? What do you think that how do you think that we should call the second part? Maybe any recommendations? Remember what is unusual, or what is, think about the values that you're going to be testing here. How do you think that we should exception handling? Okay, getting there, Christian. But Christian, this is the expected outcome. The middle part refers to what are the numbers that I'm giving to this method. Great, Pablin. I like that, Pablin. I like that. So division, we have already a division, okay? Divide is the method. In the middle, I'm gonna say 0. But what is it that we are setting 0 to? Which value is the one that we are setting 0 to? Is that the numerator or the denominator? Denominator. So again, this is just a recommendation. I'm just walking you through my thought process. So you could call this 0 denominator. That's the second part. And then the third one. Third one, Christian, I like that. I like the exception handling. Yes, by the third one. So we could very simply put the third one as exception. Or we could just say, as you said, Christian, exception handling division by zero exception. However you want to call it, exception would be good enough. Okay, so this is a good name. Now again, we don't put parameters to our methods. We're gonna just say this, and now we're gonna do this again. Arrange can we use numerator as 20? Can we do that? Yeah. What should be the denominator? Well, we know that. It should be a 0 in the denominator. Okay? Now, here is where things get a little bit trickier. Okay? Because now we are no longer expecting a value coming back. We're expecting an error to happen. Okay? So that becomes a little bit tricky here, but we're gonna see how we will handle that. Expected, actually, there are no expected values. We don't expect a value back. Okay? We expect an exception. Because of that, we're not gonna be using a return type. We're gonna be actually using an annotation here. We're gonna have to use a special annotation to say that we expect this test method to trigger an exception. Okay? We have to use an annotation for that. So we're gonna have to say something like this. Expected exception, and then we're gonna have to say the type of our exception. I'm gonna say type of, and I have to be precise as to which exception is happening here. So I'm gonna use this method type of, and I'm gonna say divide by zero exception. So by saying this, we are telling the test framework that we expect this test method, to generate an exception. And this will validate that exception really happened. Okay? So I still have to act. So I can act the same way as I did up there. You can keep it as actual, or you can just call it like this, because I don't care about the return value. There will be no return value here, so I can just call divide if I want. Okay? Now, our assert will be blank, because this annotation is taking care of asserting the exception for us. Okay? So, looks a little bit different, but it's not that complicated, is it? Come on, any questions there? Let me have a look here at Padlet. Okay, nothing there. Again, any questions? I'm checking the chat. Okay, so that's how. Now, let's give this a try. See, now here in our test explorer, we have divide by zero. See, it shows an exclamation mark because it didn't run yet. Okay, so I'm gonna run everything. Run all tests, let's say. Okay, look at this. All green boxes here, check boxes, shows that it took 2 milliseconds and 14 milliseconds here to the other one. So division by zero, look. And the other one as well. So both of them worked. But what if we change something in our code here, that this will no longer trigger an exception. Let's try this. Let's see the test failing. Let's do, if we do something like this, look. If denominator is 0, return 0, else okay. So I've made a slight change. I'm just saying, if denominator is equals to 0, return number 0. Else, return this one here. Now, when I send denominator 0, we will no longer get an exception here. Because of that, our test will fail. Let's have a look at that. Let's run division by 0. Sorry, 0 denominator exception here. Just that. Look at this. Now we have a problem. We are no longer the code is no longer giving an exception. So let's look at the message. See, look, test method did not throw expected exception divide by 0 exception. So it's giving an error because, now I know it can be mind twisting this. The test is giving an error because the code is no longer giving an error. Who got confused with that? I wish I would see your hands right now, because I'm sure that I would see a lot of hands going up. Okay, so I'm gonna repeat that slowly, in slow motion here. Okay, so our codes, oh, Durval, you got it. Sorry, you got it. I thought that you said that you didn't get it. That's fine. Great. Anyone did not get what I just walked you through? That's fine not to get it. That's fine, okay? Because again, this is the first time that you see this. You got confused. Okay, so I'm gonna go through it again. So originally, our divide method was returning the direct division by numerator, from numerator by denominator. If we divide the number by 0, we expect an exception to happen. So if that's the case, our test, this test here, this test is expecting a division by 0 error. Okay, so we can test our codes expecting it to give an error. Okay, so we tested here. If we divide two numbers and the denominator is 0, we're gonna have an exception, we're gonna have a problem, we're gonna have an error. So this test, the way it is right now, it's testing if this error is really occurring. I'm saying I expect that if I put denominator as 0, I'm gonna get this exception. However, because we have made a change here in our method, we no longer get that exception, and the test, then it fails because it's not returning exception anymore. Now, let's go back to the original one. The original one was just like this. So because we are dividing by 0, we're gonna get an exception, and this will work now. The test will work. I'm not saying that this error will not happen. It will happen, but the test that we are doing will work now, because now we're gonna run. It's expecting the exception. Let it run, and now it's okay. You see, now we get a green check because it gave the exception. Again, just went through it. Still confused, let me know. But that's it. That is it. I'm gonna move forward to my last example here. Okay, the last example is this one. Let's say I'm gonna get rid of this. Let's say, remember that when we studied exceptions, remember that we can throw our own exceptions as well. We can say, under certain conditions, throw an exception, throw an error. We can say that, okay? Now, I'm going, because, you know, in a way, this is my divide. I can do whatever I want with this divide method. I'm gonna put some rules around this divide method. I'm gonna say that, and you may ask, why are you doing that, Ederson? I'm gonna say, because I can. No, I'm joking. Because I want to apply some rules to this divide that if numerator, which is the top one, is greater than, if numerator is smaller than denominator, I want to throw an exception, and I want to say denominator cannot be greater than numerator. I want to always make the numerator bigger than the denominator for our function here, for our divide. Okay? I'm just applying this rule that I came up with. I came up with that rule. This division numerator has to be bigger. I don't want fractions here. Not about fractions really. I only want the division to be numbers above 1. So I don't want numerators to be smaller than denominators. I want to do something like this. If numerator if numerator is less than denominator, I want to throw an exception here. I want to say throw, I'm going to say new exception, and I'm going to put a message here. The message will be this. Okay? So, if by any chance I send, let's say, numerator 5, denominator 10, 5 is smaller than 10, then it will throw an exception. Okay? So, I'm going to repeat this. Why am I establishing this rule? Because I decided to apply this business rule to my method. I don't want people to use this divide if they have a denominator that is bigger than a numerator. I don't want. Why, Ederson? Because I'm picky. I'm picky. Yeah, I'm picky. I just want those numbers to be like them. Well, I'm trying to demonstrate that you can throw an exception, and then you can also test. We're going to create a third test case that will test against this one here. Okay? So now I'm gonna create yet another one, another test scenario that I'm gonna say test method public void. Let's put the name. So first part, we got it. Divide underscore. What is the second part? Anyone would have a recommendation for me to name on how to name the second part? again, let's think about what is it that we're going to be providing to test. Okay? It can be, I like that, Problem. I like that. Could be that greater numerator. Actually, it's problem. It's actually the denominator is the one that is greater. Okay, so it's not the numerator that is greater. It's the denominator that is greater. Okay, so I'm just gonna adjust it a little bit. It's greater denominator. Does that make sense, Problem? Perfect. Okay, so greater denominator. I named mine a little bit different than that, but that's fine. This is a good name, actually. And then, what is it that we expect? Throw an exception. Exception. We can say throw exception. That's fine. All good. Great name. Methods, what to input, what is expected. Okay? No arguments. We're gonna have a setup very similar to the previous one. We're gonna have an arrange, an assert, and no, sorry, we're gonna have arrange, act, and no assert. Here, what should be, I mean, numerator could be 10, denominator could be 20, greater denominator. So we have greater denominator here, okay? Anything else that we would have to put here? If you compare to the other one? Yes, we have this. We have the expected exception. However, the type of this time around, if we look at the code there, we have a plain and simple exception. So here we would have, instead of division by 0, we would have just a simple exception. I'm going to run the test. I'm going to run all of them. Let's give it a try. And let's see how it goes. Look, all green because it falls in the exception here. Greater denominator. If I get rid of this and try again, and I got rid of our own exception. If I try this again, this test, the last test, will not pass. Look, because it no longer throws an exception. Okay. Okay, and then last time here. Awesome, awesome. So those were the 3 examples. There are 2 more little things that I want to show you before we move to some exercise, okay? And I'll show you, yeah, I'll show you next. But again, give me some feedback. How is this looking like? Anyone lost out there? Anyone that I need to rescue? Please tell me. It's okay not to understand. Okay. We are here to learn together. Okay. Okay, so all quiet there. Okay, Problem, can you please tell how to rename test file we did in the beginning? Yes, test file here. Problem. When we create a brand new test project, it came with something called, I think it was unit test 1. So I can right click the file, I can say rename, and then I can change it here. That's it. So you change the file. When you change that, it's gonna ask if you want to change the class name as well. So you should change, you should keep the class name consistent with the file name. So you can confirm when it asks for that, okay? But that's it. You can right click in the name of the file, then go to rename, then put the new name. Okay, no problem. Okay, so let's do this. Any more questions from the topic? Okay, let's do this. Let's take 5 minutes. Once we come back, there are 2 little things that I want to mention. We're gonna jump to another Nearpods, and then we're gonna jump to a hands-on exercise. So 5 minutes, and then we will be back to give this a closure. Okay, let's get going here so we can get this done. Just confirm everyone can hear me. Just give me a quick yes or no, or don't say anything if you are not. So quick yes. Just to, okay. Thank you, Christian. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. Awesome. Okay. So to wrap things up with the contents, the first point is about another, how can I say, another annotation that we can add to help classify and organize our different tests. Okay, so we have 2 kinds of annotations. One is an annotation that tells who's the owner of that annotation, who's the owner of that method. You can just put someone's name. You can use, maybe it's a department name, maybe it's a team member name. Whatever it is, it's just a way that helps to classify things. So first one that I want to mention is the owner. So if you say, you're gonna do this in a methods level. So if we can say owner, and then I can say the owner is John Smith. Let's say that he was the person who implemented this method. Or maybe you're gonna classify this in a different way, maybe with a department name or with a team name. Guys, just want to do a quick test here because I have my internet light blinking. Sometimes it means that it's not working. So give me some feedback there. Did you lose me or it's perfect? Okay, that's fine because I just see a blinking light here and sometimes this means that I don't have internet. But it seems to be stable now. Anyway, so owner, let's say John Smith. The second one, let's say that this is from, I don't know, Michael. And the third one, the owner will be John Smith again. So John Smith. Okay, so this is just a way to classify things. If I'm not mistaken, this will show here in the traits, and I think that you can filter by them as well. Let me just see here. Yep, you can filter by traits. Yep. So we have put some names there. Actually, let me see here. There's a way that you can oh, I got it. I got it here. So let me just save this again. Let me recompile everything here, all the tests. And then once it's done, I can now group. See, there's a group icon. I can group by traits. Is that traits? Sorry. Let me see here. There is a way that you can visualize this by author, by owner. Just a way to organize. Yeah, okay, so here it is. Look, traits. Now I can filter this. Yes, you see, now I can filter and I can say I only want to see tests that belong to Michael, and it filters that. Or I want to see tests that belong to John, just John. I only see 2 that belong to John. So again, those are additional information that you can add. You can annotate your methods to help filter them, because imagine if we have a very large project, we may have hundreds of tests. Just look at this. In a simple method like this, we have 3 test methods. Can you imagine in a more complicated system how many test methods we may have? So the traits help us organize that. Okay, now that's it. I want to show everybody. So that's it. So owner is one. Now there's another one. There's another one called test category. So I can say something like this. I can say this test is important. This is not important. This is very important. So I'm going to say something like this. Test category. And then I put the name of my category. And I can say, okay, this test is important. Okay? Again, this category is defined by you. We define that as the developers. Now, the next one, I'm going to say that, oh, no. This one is very important. And we can say that the last one is very important as well. Okay? With that, and if we just update this again, because we don't see them yet, so let's run all of them again. So look, now traits, we have, okay, I want to see by owner, I want to see by category, I only want to see the important ones. Okay, so this is the important one. Filtering, I want to see the very important one. Okay, so we have 2 here. Okay, so basically we have 2 annotations, one for the owner, another one for the name of the category. Those are just different ways that you can classify, organize, and filter your test methods by. Okay, so again, owner and test category, they can be applied to the methods. They are 2 annotations. Okay, questions? Pause for the cause. Any questions? Anything? Nothing there. Okay, so let's start some of the exercise, but before we're gonna do one more near pods. So I'm gonna go to near pods and we're gonna run the second one there. So we can keep this in mind, test driven. Here's the second test. You can type the codes, or I'm gonna copy the link. I'm gonna paste the link to the chat. I'm gonna paste the link to Padlet as well, in case it's easier for you to just click on the link. Okay. So you have the codes or the links that I have sent on your pods and on the chat as well. Give it a try. I think we have 3 or 4 questions there. I'm gonna give just 2 minutes and 30 seconds here. Give it a try. Okay, let's have a look here. Okay, 4 questions. Okay, if a test fails, it means that your code has a compilation error. Is that true or false? That is correct, Christian. It's not, it's false. Compilation error is one thing. There is a syntax error in your code. A test that fails is, a logic error. It's not a compilation error, okay? So again, this statement is false. Okay, next one. How do you decorate? And when you hear the words decorate, it's the same thing as annotate, okay? How do we decorate a test class and a test method respectively? Which one? D or B? Okay. So it is not actually called tested. It's test class and test methods, as we see here in our test class and test methods. Okay, so we have B here on the second one. Check all valid examples of available decorations for testing methods. So all valid ones. A, just give me there the letters that you think. Is A correct? A is correct. That's methods. How about B? Expected exception, type of exception. It's fine. How about C? Owner John. It's good as well. And how about D? Test category, importance. All good. So problem, yep, all good, all correct. Okay, so all of them are the different ways for different reasons, for different goals, objectives that you're gonna be annotating your or decorating your methods. Okay, last one. Okay, the assert class has a collection of helper methods to test various conditions within unit tests. If the condition being tested is not met, an exception is thrown. All methods below are available from the assert class except which one? Again, to be quite honest, I don't, well, I have a guess here, but I don't remember all of them. However, I see one there that it doesn't sound right. You could go to the code and you could look at them. Okay, but anyone can tell me which one is not methods that can be found in the assert. Which one? Come on, anyone? Okay, so I'm just gonna read the correct ones. Okay, so are equal is false. This is okay. Are not equal, are same. It's okay as well. Is truthful, is not nullable. Yeah, Deepika, that's it. This is the one. Okay, so that's it. Any questions, guys? Anyone? I think that we covered the topic well today. I think that's, again, I hope that you feel the same. I would recommend that review some of what we have discussed today if you have a question. But again, I'll be here for the exercise. So what you can do now is this. What you should do. You can go to week 12, and then you have programming exercises 14. By the way, the calculator example is already uploaded here. Okay, so you have this example to use as a reference point. You have the presentation, you have a bunch of links here that can help you, and you have exercise 14, which you can start now. Okay, now as well I'm gonna run through a quick attendance here, but this is the exercise. You're gonna follow through. It's very detailed here, and hopefully you're gonna be able to put it together. Follow along, follow step by step, slowly. If you don't finish it today, that's fine. Carry on. I'll be available if you have questions that you want to ask from now until next class. That's fine. We can reconnect with this exercise during next class, but now dedicate your time to start that. I'll be here to answer your questions. Sir, what is the syllabus for the exam? Okay, the exam is I'll get it more detailed to you, but it will include Windows development and test as well. Okay, so it will include both of them, but I will bring a more detailed list of, like I did with the midterm. I'll bring a more detailed list here for the final exam as well. Okay, I'm just gonna write this down. Okay, Chris, would be possible if you share with us the code solution of the last assignment? What do you mean by last assignment, Christian? You mean assignment 3? Okay, so first of all is that I'm still going through grading the assignment. Second, not everybody has submitted their assignment yet, so I still have groups that need to submit their assignments, so I cannot really release it right now because there are people that did not submit theirs yet. But if there's anything that that you'd like me to have a look at yours, now again, it's really better if I had a chance to review the assignments already. I have not finished them. I barely started them. Okay, so again, if you have specific questions, I can address that 101, but I need to review the assignments first, and I need to get everyone to deliver their assignments, which I have not received yet from everybody. Okay, but again, feel free if you want to ask me 101 anything about the assignment. Okay? Okay, no problem. So again, get started with exercise 14. I will take a quick attendance right away. So I'm gonna go through the list, but if I call your name, just say, yeah, I'm here, but I'm gonna look at the list as well. Anthony, I don't see you. If you are here, let me know. Asmita, I see you. Caitlin, I see you. Chen as well. Kong, I don't see you. Kong, I don't see. Christian, you're there. Deepika, you're there too. Dhruval Kumar, you're there. Yep. Evan is not there. How is there. Hyunsun is there. Jalen is there as well. Jace is there. Joseph is there. Or was there, but that's okay. Juno, I don't see you there. Minu, you're there. Michael Tran, I don't see you there. Nazmu, no, I don't see Nazmu. Nguyen, I don't see you there. Paul, I see you there. Prablin as well. Samarv, I don't see you there. Sarab, I don't see you there. Sydney, I see you there. Trenel, I don't see you there. Vishesh, I see you there. Yep, perfect. Okay. So, again, let's put it this way, I'll be walking around, seeing if anyone has any questions, but use this time well. I know it's late, but again, you can carry on this, tomorrow if you want. It's up to you. I'll still be around for the next half an hour to see if anyone has questions about the exercise or about the exams. I'm gonna follow up with a few people that had questions here. Okay, so again, I'm not gonna put the music because some people miss the music, some people think that no, actually not. Some people says that it's a noise, so I guess that I'll leave it without music. I mean, again, you can always control your volume there. Anyway, okay, so I'm gonna get to the person that asked me about assignment 3. I'm gonna go private in a message with you, okay?